Hi, did you miss me? Okay, I'm looking crazy because it's 4:49 in the morning. Yeah, I just finished washing my hair and I am getting ready to leave for work. So part of getting ready after I wash my hair is like making these little sections that I can straighten before the day gets a hold of my curly too. Yeah, it's like wrestling a pig around in my hair clip sometimes. Okay, so I got this new job and I am a taxi cab driver now. Part of driving a taxi is not wrestling pigs. Part of driving a taxi is checking out your car before you get on the road. So I went to the car and one of the guy taxi cab drivers went with me and I said, "Would you please show me where all this stuff is?" And he was like, "Why?" Oh, hold on, I need a cigarette before I go. And and I was like, "Because I've never had to do this car stuff before, you know?" And he looks at me and he goes, "You're kidding, right?" And I was like, "No." I said, like a long time ago, I learned how to check the oil, but what I've seen is that, excuse me, that the oil is different, is in a different place on every single car. And so he's like, "Wow." He said, "I can't believe this. You are such a freaking chick." And I was like, "That's right. I'm a girl, and girls are not supposed to be like messing with fluids on cars and stuff. It's a dude's job." And so he made me like do everything and check everything. And so then we get to the lights. And he's like, "You have to check your lights." See, my hair is in a big old messy clip. He's like, "You have to check your lights every single day." And I said, "Why?" And he's like, "Because if you get pulled over and one of your light bulbs is out, then you get a ticket." And I was like, "Well, that sucks." So we're going through the lights and he's like behind the car and he's looking at everything and he says, "Turn your parking lights on." And I'm like, "What's a parking light?" And he goes, "Come on, stop being a dumb blonde. I'm so serious. Turn your parking lights on." And I'm like, "I am so serious with you. I really, truly, honestly don't know what a parking light is." And this guy is like, he's just like dumbfounded. But I mean, I get in the car, I turn the lights on. I don't know what each and every little gadget is. I just know how to run the car and get to where I'm going. So, needless to say, that was an adventure in itself. Voice. Hope I'm not getting Sideshow's deep smoker grandma voice. That would be really scary. So, had my first call, and I didn't tell the lady I never did this before, and I asked her for directions because I really didn't know my way around. We got there just fine. I was taking her grandson to school. She was really nice to me, and when she got out of the car, I told her she was going to a funeral, and I felt really bad because, you know, she was in this great mood, and it was just really nice to see someone who had, you know, a car accident and didn't have a car, taking care of her grandson, and still going to a funeral, and she just had this beautiful smile on her face, like, how can I even compare to having such bad things wrong? So she really gave me a lot of inspiration. Thank you, lady. I don't know your name, but thank you. And and so right before she got out of the cab, I told her, I was like, "Guess what?" And she goes, "What?" And I was like, "You're my first customer, and I've never driven a cab before." She's like, "Are you serious? You're such a safe driver." And then right after I left her house, okay, I'm not gonna tell you what happened because my best friend watches these videos and she's my dispatcher and she'll tell on me. I didn't do anything bad, I swear. It was just a little thing bad. But you know, I was okay. The car was okay. And then I found out my boss had been following me to see how I drive, so maybe he already knows. Then I picked up a lady who is a home health care lady, and nobody ever can get along with her, and she doesn't talk ever. The first day I was in training, she just got in the car and got out. So I made it my duty of the day to make friends with this lady, and I did. She's really nice. We had a nice little chat about dead people and washing them off. That's another story. Okay, and then I'm trying to remember. I don't remember everybody. I remember it got really, really slow for a while, and I was so bored, and I got out of my car, and I was just walking around the car, and I was just bored, and I couldn't sit there because my medication makes me la 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 la. So I spent most of my day on the army post staring at hot men, and in the afternoon, we had 900 soldiers come in yesterday, and I really would have thought that excuse me, I really would have thought that we would have had a lot more using the taxi, but we really didn't until the afternoon. And I got this big group of guys. That was fun. And they were like, hey, hit those guys right there. And I thought it was their friends. And so I kind of just teased the car towards them a little bit. And these guys opened their eyes kind of big. And then the guys in the cab were like, oh, we don't know those people. And I was like, now you have to give me a big tip. So as I'm driving them to their room, sorry, it's that morning thing again. I've brushed my teeth, I swear, I have makeup on and everything. As we got to their room, we went around the building, and there's all these guys on this ledge, and they're all waving me down. I guess they didn't know the taxi number or something, and I went back around and I picked him up, and this one guy was like, okay, we didn't die in Iraq. I think we're gonna die in this cab. My cab is a whole nother story. I got this stinky cab. I have to shift and write and use the radio all at the same time, and I feel like an octopus. I'm and so these guys were hitting on me really, really bad, and Mr. Simpson, Homer, that is what I call him, you were hot, and I totally hope you call me because you were really hot. And he looks at my cab permit, and he's like, I really dig 34-year-olds. And I go, good thing I'm 33. And he's like, oh, your permit's wrong? And I'm like, yeah, they totally screwed that up. But I ended up taking him to get beer and then to the strip club. And I almost thought about after work, because that was my last call, going back to the strip club and hanging out with him. But that kind of would have been a little weird, right? Who knows? I handed out a lot of cards, and I met a lot of people, and I'm back there today. I have 2 minutes before I'm supposed to leave. I have to go get cigarettes and go check those weird fluids and stuff. Oh, by the way, if you have my phone number, Sideshow, my cousin, everybody else that has my phone number, wait, you can't call my house phone, but I will have my daughter's cell phone, and I will try to call you today. And then we can talk while I'm driving the cab. I actually told somebody that I was recording them for YouTube, and they were totally down with that. So maybe I'll look into getting some kind of camera so that I can actually do that if I make them sign release forms, or, that would be really fun. Like Marla Taxi Cab Confessions. My weight is staying at a regular 170, 175. My clothes suck because they're all too big, but I guess that's life, right? Gotta buy new clothes. So, I wanted to show you my little taxi cab box, but I don't have time for that because I have to go. But I will tell you a funny thing. I have a sewing box, and I have a little pin on top. And this guy's like, why do you have a sewing pin on the top of it? And I said, in case you touch me, I'll stab you. And he goes, what if I take the pin? And I was like, well, I carry a razor blade under my tongue. And he goes, let me see. And I'm like, no, you have to get close enough to see the razor blade. And so he tries to grab me and kiss me. And I'm like, dude, get off. You're not gonna get cut today. I'm not slashing your tongue. So my cigarette's gone.